In the deep lower dungeon, a centipede monster attacks a small boy, but his party leader Drago saves him. The elf girl Sasha, whose level is 308, uses her archery to strike the centipede to save the boy. The rest of the party also fights and kills the monster. The boy's name is Light, and his level is only 15, while the others are in the hundreds, so for now he is the weakest in the party. After fighting monsters in the dungeon, Sasha gets angry at Light, saying that if he takes even one hit, he could die, and she tells him to be careful. Light apologizes because he thinks he is useless, and Sasha heals his injuries. Then the dog teases Sasha for caring too much about Light. Sasha blushes and says she doesn't want to lose a party member because that would hurt their party's reputation. Despite her explanation, everyone still teased her, saying she was just making excuses. Light apologized to all of them, saying he wasn't very useful to the party and kept causing trouble. But the party leader, Drago, told him not to worry so much because what he had was enough. After they killed the monsters, they reached a bright spot and thought about setting up camp. Light assumed they were taking a tea break, so he started unpacking his things. Right then, Drago told him there was no need to prepare. He was expelling Light from the party on the spot. Light panicked and couldn't understand what was happening. He quickly apologized if he had made any mistake and said he wouldn't go to the front anymore, so they shouldn't kick him out. But the dog told him that wasn't the reason. They weren't kicking him out because he rushed ahead, but because the party no longer needed him. Light was an ordinary human who left his village to become an adventurer. In his world, there are 9 races: dragons, elves, demons, ghouls, dwarves, dark elves, centaurs, and beastmen, and finally humans, who are seen as the weakest and the worst. Humans have no status, and the other races look down on them. When Light arrived in the city, he registered at the Adventurers Guild, and when they asked him what his gift was. Gift means the power someone luckily gets from birth. He showed the receptionist what his gift was, a power called Unlimited Gacha. He spins a wheel, a random card comes out, and Light can choose the item shown on that card. But when he demonstrated it at the guild, only junk came out of his gacha spins, so he was given an F rank. Because F rank is very low, Light only got manual labor jobs. After working all day and earning some money, he was heading back to rent a place to sleep when some beastmen bumped into him and, as compensation, took all his money. At that moment, the elf Sasha comforted Light and invited him to join their party, saying their party didn't judge by race, and they aim to build a world where all races are treated equally. But now Light finds out. Deep down, they still hate humans. Even Sasha the elf says she feels disgusted with herself for flirting with a human. The dog tells Light that all that talk about building a nation was just an act. They only added him to the party to use him for their own goals. Light is confused and doesn't get what the dog is saying. Then Drago explains they let him join because his gift was better than other humans. It's a unique gift, but to Light it's worthless and useless since it rarely gives anything helpful. Light says they all know his gift, which he got 2 years ago, is trash, so why make him join? Drago replies that this is exactly why they're kicking him out now. Their higher-ups think Light's mysterious gift is extremely powerful, which would make Light a master, and that's the only reason Drago added him to the party on his higher-ups' orders. But now that they've realized Light's gift is trash and useless, and that he's just an ordinary human, they don't need to act friendly with him anymore. Light doesn't understand what they mean by master, and Sasha also curls her lip, saying she was being too playful with the human. She tells Light she only cooperated for her country because they wanted to accept a master blood. Now she feels disgusted that she touched Light and even thought of marrying an ordinary human. The dog laughs and mocks her, saying she only put on a fake friendly attitude to satisfy her own desires. Sasha gets furious. Light still doesn't understand what they're talking about when they mention a master and a country. Drago orders the dog to stop talking and finish Light. The dog tells him not to worry, he won't leave Light alive, and no information will leak. Light realizes they plan to stab him in the back from the start. They never wanted him in the party, only his gift. Now that they've decided his gift is useless, they're showing their true colors. Just then, the dog attacks Light to finish him before any other adventure party shows up and sees them. The first strike hits Light's face, and he starts bleeding. Light panics so badly, his pants are about to get wet, and he shakes with fear because there's bloodlust in their eyes and the thrill of seeing a human as prey. Light runs to save his life, but Sasha draws an arrow and shoots his leg so he can't escape. He falls to the ground and screams in fear. The dog gleefully attacks him again. While Light is being beaten and writhing in pain, the dark elf and the others laugh, enjoying the sight of a human being tortured. The others ask to take a turn torturing him too, but Sasha tells them to shut up because they've already decided to use the excuse that Light died from a sudden monster attack. If they all use their own attacks on him, his death will look suspicious. So only the dog will eliminate Light with his claws. Drago orders the dog to stop the chatter, get on with it, and finish Light quickly. As the dog is about to deliver the final attack, Light writhes because he does not want to lose his life here. He thinks he did nothing wrong and that no one will come to save him from these bastards. Suddenly, he accidentally puts his hand on a teleportation trap. The spell activates, and before the dog can finish him, Light teleports somewhere else. After teleporting, he realizes he is in another place and that he has escaped those bastards. But because he was injured, Light couldn't move or walk at all and began to cry, wondering why he had to endure this pain when he had done nothing wrong. He had only left home to earn for his family. He regretted believing those dogs when they claimed they wanted to build an equal world, because they had treated him well for so long, respected him, and he trusted them. Light realizes it was all an act and they were lying. They deliberately brought him this deep into the dungeon, where he could not survive alone, and where there were very dangerous, high-level monsters to kill him here. From this betrayal, hatred and anger rise in him, and he swears he will kill them all and take his revenge. Just then, a bigger dog appears, a hellhound, level 1000. Light is terrified and his heart races, because a monster that high means he has reached the deepest part of the dungeon. Light uses his gacha, hoping a good card will drop so he can distract the monster and escape. When he activates it, huge magic circles appear, the gacha triggers in an advanced way, and light spreads everywhere. The hellhound charges, but Light's card activates first, a magic circle opens and a maid appears, slices the hellhound to pieces, and in an instant it turns to dust. Light tries to understand what happened and where this girl came from. The maid heals all his injuries and asks his name. He says he is Light, a soon-to-be Kira. Hearing his name, the maid blushes and says she lives only for her master, will devote everything to him, and even die for him. She swears eternal loyalty to Light. She introduces herself as an ultra super rare card, a level 9999 USR, rank maid named May, summoned here by Light's gift, unlimited gacha. Light wonders how his gacha could pull a super ultra rare card, so May shows her stats and begins to explain that actually, when Light was above. Up there, mana was low, and unlimited gacha draws cards based on the mana around it. In the dungeon's deepest part, mana was huge, so the monsters were high level, and Light's gacha summoned a card just as rare. Light was shocked and told May his gacha was trash, that barely summoned items, let alone a human. May told him to stop talking nonsense and don't start a random bullshit explanation again and again. She had just been summoned before his eyes and asked him to call her by her name, May. Then she requested permission to use the identification. Light was surprised she had that gift, which lets her see anyone's stats and levels. She checked him and was stunned. Light's stats and levels are so high that only extremely high-level beings like May can even see them. Ordinary adventurers can't. May assumes he came to the deep dungeon to summon her and thanks him. But Light starts crying again and says he didn't come by choice. His companions betrayed him, lured him here, stabbed him in the back, and he barely escaped death several times. May immediately hugs him, vows to wipe them out, and asks for the order so she can line up each of those rotten traitors before him. Light tells her she can't do that. He clears May's misunderstanding. He has no intention of showing them mercy. Now that he knows his gacha's true power, he says he was weak before, but will become strong, take revenge with his own hands, and make their lives hell until they beg for death. May swears to fulfill whatever he wishes and help him in every way to take that revenge. Then, on May's advice, Light starts planning and uses his unlimited gacha. May told him he needed to build his own kingdom and comrades here, so he could go up and make the lives of those bastards and their higher-ups hell. Light then pressed the button of his unlimited gacha again for his second card.